So I know a lot of you all have been hearing the commercials and we're like, talk donation. What's this all about? What type of donation? Donation to charity, donation to education. What's this all about? In actuality, it's a little bit of both. Donation to fellow man, woman, and child, as well as education about the topic of organ and tissue donation. Each week, special guests and I will spend time talking about important issues in the organ and tissue donation community and also what minorities need to know about the process. Ultimately, our sole purpose is to give you enough information to dispel the long-standing myths and misconceptions while helping our viewers understand that Gift of Hope is an honorable and trusted partner in the community. We recognize that minorities have fear in healthcare entities, and with much reason. However, within the last 30 years, with the help of our awesome transplant partners, awesome nurses, doctors, advances in modern medicine, our community partners, religious partners, Gift of Hope has really been able to help turn tragedies to triumphs through organ and tissue donation and really help recipients, donor families, and those that are waiting really change the end of stories. So welcome everyone. We're so excited to have you tonight, and we'll be right back after our regularly scheduled commercial break.
Nikki's donation has made a huge impact on a lot of people. This one right here, sitting next to me especially. When Gift of Hope came to me and asked me for the donation, it made me feel very confident knowing that I can give my baby's heart. This is Nikki's heart beating inside Tanisha's chest.
So when I heard this pounding, like, what is that noise? And the nurse said to me, that's your heart.
I carried Nikki for 9 months. Now Tanisha's gonna carry her the rest of her life.
Say yes to donation. Start the conversation with your loved ones today.
Nikki's donation has made a huge impact.
Hey everyone, so each week, you guys know we do in donation news. This week is a little bit different because after we do donation news, I'm not going to have a special guest, but we are going to feature a couple of really special videos about donation. One is actually about the process of donation, and then a couple more about some really awesome donor stories about their families and about the gifts and legacy that they left. So I'm really excited about tonight's show, and let's get started with donation news. So today, for the week of May 15th, we have a couple of cool things. So Mother's Day just passed, right? So there was actually a really interesting story that was shared by ABC News. Really, kind of a Mother's Day story in which a man from Lakeview, Illinois, right here in the Chicagoland area, donated a piece of liver to his mother. So Brian Muscarella from Lakeview donated a portion of his liver to his mother, Diane Muscarella, in Buffalo, New York. So wow. That is pretty amazing. So it's interesting because I think in a couple of episodes before we talked about some organs you can donate while you're living. Liver is one of those because you can donate a portion of your liver to someone that is in need, that has some sort of different liver issues. I think Brian's mom had non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. So many different things can cause the liver to fail. And Brian said, what more could I do for my mother, the person that gave me life, but give her a piece of me? So Brian was able to donate to his mother. At the time, he was going to be getting married in a year, and he said he wanted his mother to be able to experience grandchildren, experience his wedding with him, and so he went through with that donation, and we are happy to report that Brian and his mother, Diane, are doing very, very well. So happy Mother's Day, Diane, and all the rest of those mothers out there, especially my mom. Hey, Mom, I know you're watching. So yay, congrats to Brian and his mom, and yay for living donation. Next in donation news, actually speaking of family, if you are a donor family, please check out our Facebook page. On Facebook, we are Gift of Hope Organ and Tissue Donor Network, and you can actually join our private Facebook group that's actually a donor family support group. So if you are the family member of someone who has gone on to be a hero and that has gone on to leave a legacy and leave an organ or tissue donation, please feel free to join this group through Gift of Hope. You will find out about a lot of different events that we have for donor families. We have a whole department that focuses on donor families. If you haven't already been reached out to by them, this is definitely a great way to reach them. But if you have a loved one that has gone on to be a donor, you most likely have heard from our donor family services department, and we would love to re-engage you if you haven't been around. So there are a lot of awesome events going on. Speaking of their awesome events, things that you can find out about through that page are events like this one happening on May 16th. If you would like more information about this event, please reach out to me, but it's actually the Zulig Blanket and Memory Box Workshop. That will be happening at our Gift of Hope headquarters. So that is a donor family event in which donor families come together and put together the memory boxes that families receive after their loved one has gone on to be a donor. Has different things like an honor medal, different things to help families remember their loved one. I think it's given around the funeral and memorial service time that comes from Gift of Hope. So as a donor family, if you receive that, if it means a lot to you, which working out in the community, I've heard a lot of people have received those boxes and really loved them. So if you received one, if you have been touched by one, if you just love the idea of it, come on out to that event on May 16th. And if you would like more information about that, including the address and the specific times, please reach out to me. Let me flash my email address up here. You can reach out to me at ofox@giftofhope.org. You can also reach out to us through our website, which is giftofhope.org. Again, I'm ofox@giftofhope.org. If you would love to participate in that event on May 16th, that's the Zulig Zulig Blanket and Memory Box Donor Family Workshop. That will be happening out at our Itasca office. So please come on out to that if you are interested. That is going to be an awesome event, and everybody that works in that department is awesome. Great with, helping families get through this time and learn that this is a journey. Grief is a journey. It's not something that you just get over quickly. It's a journey, and there are different steps, and this is a great way for you to kind of take steps through that journey. So next, one other thing, with the summer coming up, we would love for you to come volunteer with us at our community affairs event. So we are out everywhere in the community. I mentioned that our service area is Illinois and Northwest Indiana, and so for the summer we are out at events everywhere. So if you are a part of the donation process, if you have been a recipient, if you are a donor family, if you work in a hospital setting and you just feel very passionate about donation, please come and volunteer with us. We have a great time doing events all over the service area, all through the summer. There are indoor events, outdoor events, so we have something for everyone. Family events, kids events, everything. Also, if you have an event that you would like us to come out to, please email me. Again, my email address is ofox@giftofhope.org. If you have something going on at your church, if you have a back to school giveaway, anywhere where we can educate the public about the topic of organ and tissue donation is somewhere where we want to be. So please reach out to us. Again, I'm ofox@giftofhope.org. So next, we're actually going to take a look at a video that kind of explains the process of donation. So in the past few episodes, I've had donor families come in, we've had recipients come in, share both sides of their stories, and we talked about donation, but sometimes people really don't get how this process fully works until you see kind of an animated description of it with a complete breakdown of how the process works, when this becomes a conversation, when we find out if someone's on the registry, when a family is asked if they would like for their loved one to become a donor. This is does a really nice job of explaining the process of donation. So let's check this video out if I can get it pulled up here. Here we go.
Every year, many thousands of people receive the gift of life, a life-saving transplant of a heart, kidney, liver, lungs, pancreas, or intestines. And thousands more people receive corneas and other tissues that restore sight and health. Transplantation is one of the great medical advances of our time. How does it work? It all starts when someone's organ begins to fail, and that person will need a transplant to survive. A thorough evaluation is conducted at a transplant center, and if the person's a good candidate for a transplant, he or she will be put on the National Transplant Waiting List. Once a person is on the list, the wait for an organ begins. A national system matches people on the waiting list with donors. The factors considered in matching donors and recipients include blood type and body size, how sick the patient is, distance from the donor, tissue type, and length of time on the waiting list. What doesn't get taken into account? Organs are never matched based on race or gender. Income, celebrity, and social status are also never considered in matching donor organs to waiting patients. There's no telling how long the wait will take. In fact, some people don't receive an organ in time because the waiting list is very long and there aren't enough donors available. That's why an average of 18 people on the waiting list die each day. Imagine how many we could save if we all were donors. Most organs for transplants come from deceased donors. Here's how that happens. A person comes to the hospital with a life-threatening brain injury, such as from an accident, a stroke, or lack of oxygen. The doctors work hard to save the patient's life, but sometimes nothing can be done. There's a complete, irreversible loss of brain function. The patient is clinically and legally dead. That's when being a donor can turn a time of loss into a time of hope. Because machines have kept blood containing oxygen flowing to the organs, they can be passed along. One person can give life to as many as 8 people through organ donation and enhance the lives of 50 people or more through eye and tissue donation. But now, minutes matter. Matches must be found and transplants must happen quickly. The hospital contacts an organ procurement organization, an OPO. OPOs manage the organ recovery process. The OPO checks the state organ donor registry. If the person is already registered as a donor, they'll inform the family. If not, they'll ask the family to authorize donation. A medical examination takes place. They check the medical and social history, and if the person is eligible to be an organ donor, the computer begins the search on the national waiting list for well-matched patients. The best matched patients for each organ are contacted by their transplant teams. This is the call that every single person on the waiting list has been hoping for. The call that could mean a second chance at life. Now the transplant happens. A surgical team recovers the organs, then corneas and other tissues. The organs are sent to the transplant hospitals where the patients and transplant teams are waiting, and the life-saving transplants take place. It will take healthy living and medications to keep the organ working well in its new home. But some wonderful person has given the most precious gift of all, the gift of life. You too can make the decision today to sign up on your state registry as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Any age is the right age, young or old. And any day is the right day to sign up as a donor. You can register through your driver's license office, or you can sign up right now, online. Remember to tell your family so they can support your wishes. More than 100 million people have already signed up, but we're all needed to save more lives. Go to organdonor.gov and sign up in your state donor registry as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov and share the gift of life.
So I hope that video made the process of donation and exactly how it works a little bit more clear for some of our viewers. And our ask for this week and each week as we discuss donation and the importance of it in our community is that you please consider being an organ donor. Please consider saying yes when you go to the Department of Motor Vehicle Services. Please consider when you see Gift of Hope out in the community. Please consider joining the Organ and Tissue Donor Registry and really leaving that as a gift to your family, because as my boss and mentor says often, we plan for everything in life except for the one thing that is promised to us, and that is death. And if we can plan for that a little bit better, make it a little bit easier on our loved ones who are going to be experiencing the worst thing of their lives anyway, that's something that we should be able to do. That is one beautiful thing that we can do while we're still here living on this earth, in a way that you can decide to leave a legacy. So please consider being an organ donor. Also, if you don't go to organdonor.gov, go to giftofhope.org, and you can also, it'll take you like 15 seconds to join the donor registry through our website. There's a big button on there. You can't miss it. So I think we have time for one more video that does a really, really nice job of showing both the work that Gift of Hope does in the community, also the life-saving work. Oh, before we show that video, looks like we have a caller. Let's go ahead and take that caller. Hey caller, what's your name and question?
Hi, I was just wondering if the doctors who save your life, are they the same doctors who procure the organs?
Wow, that's a great question, caller. Thank you for asking that. And that's something really important for us to understand. Gift of Hope staff is 100% separate from the hospital staff. Doctors, nurses, EMTs, all of those people are there to save your life. They're supposed to do whatever that they can do, whatever that they need to do to maintain and sustain and help you return back to your regular quality of life that you have had. Gift of Hope does not come into the picture until someone is proclaimed brain dead by 3 medical tests by a doctor. At that point, donation becomes a conversation. Now, if someone is already registered themselves, it'll be a conversation of, hey, your loved one was registered. If they are not registered, it's more of a question to the family, would you like for your person to leave this type of gift? But those two staffs are completely separate. Any hospital staff is there to save your life. That is their job. Doctors, nurses, EMTs, medical staff take an oath of their job and of their license. They have gone to school for many, many years, spent a lot of money on that school to save lives. Gift of Hope's job is to change the end of tragic stories and help save lives through organ donation. And that is why we are separate entities, but while we still work together, we are totally separate entities. So the doctors and nurses at the hospital save your lives. We help change the end of stories after someone has already passed on, after they have already moved on from their life. So thank you so much for that question. I think we still actually have time for our one last video. I'll tell you a little bit about it while I get it pulled up. It is actually the story of a donor who was able to leave the gift of organ donation and save the lives of many people. And I really believe that this story really depicts what organ donation is all about. And I won't spoil it all. I'll just let you guys watch. Here we go. Here's Mario's story.
And when I walked in the room and they told her that now I got the heart. I didn't get the lung, I didn't get the kidney, I didn't get the liver, nor the left, nor the right. I got the heart. And when I walked in the room, she wouldn't let me go. She just wanted to hug me and hold on to me. She wanted to hear her son's heart beat in me. I just wanted to say thank you. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say thank you because it gave me life.
I made the decision because I thought about my baby.
Because we knew that he would want to help people, and that was his way.
I shouldn't have helped somebody. He would have been like, get them their full life.
As a result of receiving Mario's liver, I was able to meet my granddaughter, who's now 11 months old.
To the story of Mario Cousins, but we have an opportunity to change the ending of this story. Of a young man whose life is ended right in his prime, 20 years old, and what comes out of that is the saving of 5 people's lives. They are a reflection of our country and our community in a really beautiful way.
She listened to her son's heart beat in me.
And the crazy part about it, as I was listening to her heart, I heard her son, and his voice sounded like my son. And he was like, I love you, mommy. And I heard my baby. As soon as I heard the beat, he was like, I'm like, I love you too, baby.
When you have 1,000 people standing up and just going nuts cheering for this group of people and honoring Mario, it was a powerful moment. I wish everybody could just have an experience like this, of seeing these families get together and seeing what organ donation does for our community, for our families. I don't think anybody would ever say no to donation again if they just got a chance to feel just a little piece of what we feel every day at Gift of Hope.
It was heart-wrenching and fantastic all at the same time. I lost a little boy when he was 2 days old, so I can kind of relate, but I only had 2 days of memories, not 20 years. I feel that I'm carrying on Mario's legacy. I also feel that I have a whole big new family.
From day one, when God blessed me with a new heart after 27 days in the hospital, all I wanted to do was tell the donor family, thank you. I just wanted to say thank you. And the donor family, I love them. I love them with all my heart. Do you hear me? Her son's heart is in me. It gave me life. It gave me life. So many people that have lost their lives, if they would know that to donate something out of that body can save somebody's life, they do it. They don't know. I know. I know. I know. I know. I'm a living witness.
So thank you to Now This for that awesome video. I really think that video does a really nice job of encapsulating what Gift of Hope is about, what the full picture looks like, what the full story looks like from donor family story to recipient story. That video does a really nice job. So thank you so much to Now This for that feature. And we will see you guys next week, and we will have a very, very special guest from the organ and tissue donation community. I don't want to tell you who it is, but I want to see you guys next week. So please call in with your questions, your comments, your stories about organ and tissue donation, and we will see you guys next week on Let's Talk Donation with Gift of Hope. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Olivia Fox.